Well, hello YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Zerks&Wheels and Pipe Welding 101. Today we're going to be adding a fitting to a pipe. Got this threaded coupler here that needs to go in the pipe. Now what I've done is, off camera, is drilled a hole. I made it just the size to where this will fit in nicely, where there's not a whole lot of room. Now when I bring you in here and zoom in on this, keep in mind that if this were a pressurized application, you'd want some gap hoses between the coupler and the wall of the pipe in order to get good penetration on both sides, so that the puddle will flow into the gap and bond with both sides, so that way you don't have any leaks or any potential nooks and crannies in the weld or in the joint where the steam can get in and erode away the weld. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to level up our part here in the vise. I've kind of oriented the hole on top here, so now we got to get this leveled up. Grab the brass hammer here. This end is a little high. Okay, there we are. Put a little grunk on him so you can't get away. And now we're going to put our magnet on. These type of magnets will work for this purpose as well. The only problem is once you stick one of these on here, the coupler that you have will bump into the thing, and so you're going to end up with your coupler a little further into the pipe than you would like. So that's the reason I'm using this one here today. I don't want to stick this into the pipe too terribly deep, so we're going to. This is a switchable magnet, so we're going to stick that in there. Now I've got 90 degrees set on this one already, and so we're just going to double check and see if our pipe is plumb, and it's pretty close, and we're not quite plumb here. So now we're going to check the plumb here, and we're good, and here, so double check. So now your pipe is level, plumb, the whole works. Let me just check this again to make sure. So yes, we are level from the looks of it. So now we're ready to tack our coupler in here. The magnetic field of this magnet will influence the arc of the torch, so we're only going to tack this thing in place in 2 or 3 spots and then go ahead and weld it. Now for the nature of this, I cleaned up around the weld with the grinder so that there's no rust and dirt and that kind of stuff. Normally rust will get turned back into, the welding process will strip the iron oxide of its oxygen molecule and go back to iron, but the problem is you also have other contaminants which will create impurities in the weld in a pressurized environment, so you definitely want to get in the habit of keeping your welds clean on these kind of projects. So anyway, let's tack this up. Okay, now we can remove the magnet. Oh, crap. And now we're ready to finish off the weld. I bumped the amperage up to 80 amps on this because we're doing basically a blunt weld here. We don't have any sharp corners to worry about. Okay, we're not getting a good puddle here, so we're going to bump up the amperage to 90. So now we can turn the piece in the vise any which way we want in order to get the back side of the weld. So there's our handy dandy weld. So now we're going to add a flange to this piece here, again using the flange square and all that good jazz, but we're going to show you again in how this relates to one another. You need a bolt big enough to fill the hole or close enough to it, and then put some nuts on it. Okay. All right. After much frustration, I finally got to a point where now we can set a level on here and orient this level, these two holes. There we go. And now we're ready to tack this on here, and then we can use our pipe square or flange square in order to orient the flange to the pipe. Again, I got the magnet in here, and it's going to distort the arc of the torch here pretty bad, so now we've got a tack on here. Now I need to check for square. Alright, so now we got everything kind of squared up. Time to throw in a few more tacks here. Well, YouTubers, that's a wrap for today on Pipe Welding 101, adding a fitting. Hopefully you got some out of it. I lost a little bit of footage in the process and then had to hand the part off before I could reshoot it, so sorry about the loss of footage there for those of you who wanted to see the finished product. I mean, once the tack welds are done, that's pretty much just a done deal. It's just, you know, filling in the gaps. But anyway, hope you enjoyed today's episode of Zerks&Wheels. And if there's any thoughts, if you have a better way of doing it, by all means, leave it in the comment section below. Love to hear from you. Or just your general thoughts, comments, you know, whatever's on your mind. By all means, leave a comment in the comment section below. Love to hear from you. So anyway, see you again soon, and have a good one.